This is ACMi News, recognized nationwide as the first place winner of the 2022 Hometown Media Award for News Access.
With a cut of a ribbon, Broadway Plaza in Arlington Center is now open for business. Work on this historic thoroughfare is now complete, above and below ground. The heat is on as we hit summer dead center. What are some area residents doing to beat this oppressive heat? Displacing some serious water at the Reservoir. And before the Regent Theatre closes for upgrades in August, we'll show you some coming attractions that you can see while sitting in a perfectly air-conditioned entertainment venue. ACMi News starts right now.
From McLennan Park to Spy Pond, from Poets Corner to the Mystic River, we have Arlington covered, giving you stories that count from people who care. Reliable, trustworthy, dependable. This is the 2022 nationwide award-winning ACMi News.
Have you seen Broadway Plaza in Arlington Center lately? It looks amazing. Hello, I'm Animo Osmani.
And I'm James Milan. Thanks for joining us. This week, town leaders staged a ribbon-cutting ceremony to welcome this renovated parcel of real estate.
And kudos go out to Arlington's Chamber of Commerce, town leaders, and project managers. ACMi News Director Jeff Barnes takes us on a tour.
It was a long time coming, but it appears the wait was worth it. The construction crews have left, and the jackhammers have been silenced. You are now free to move about the Arlington Center Sidewalk project. And it has town leaders, bench warmers, and even coffee-sipping people watchers walking on sunshine.
I like it. It's wide open. It's big. I like it. Plenty of benches. I'm impressed. I'm glad my tax dollars are working good for me.
What resulted is a beautiful looking plaza. It is now smooth. We had bricks here before, which frankly caused a lot of tripping hazards, and we had many complaints about that. So we now have a nice, safe plaza for the public to enjoy.
This ambitious project is the town's latest effort to upgrade Arlington's Mass Ave corridor. Improvements included installing and repaving the ADA-compliant sidewalks, crosswalks, and ramps at Mass Ave and Broadway, and the sidewalks from Franklin Street to Pleasant Street. That phase was completed in the summer of 2020 at the height of the pandemic. The plaza reconstruction just brings everything together with a new plaza surface, tree plantings, benches, and fresh landscaping. Everything you see here has been enhanced above and below the ground. After the sidewalk replacement phase, the Broadway Plaza reconstruction project was quickly put into action, allowing the Massachusetts Water Resources Authority to work on a critical water main pipe running underneath this area. The Western Aqueduct Supply Main No. 3 pipeline, which was installed during the late 1920s, early 1930s, needed a serious upgrade. The pipeline is critical in supplying water to 250,000 residents in the town of Arlington and 7 surrounding communities. Since the MWRA needed to include restoration of the Broadway Plaza in this project, they agreed to spend those funds on the town's sidewalk plan as well. The authority agreed to coordinate the restoration of this plaza and then shell out 70% of the $350,000 for the reconstruction here.
I mean, Arlington is a key part of the water system for the metropolitan Boston area. Way back 100 years from now, and you've got 2 water storage tanks in the town. You've got 2 pump stations, one on Route 2 and one over by the bike path, and it's an important part of our system. And we need to keep it updated and operating appropriately for all the residents of the metropolitan area.
Well, I think between this and the park, down at Mystic Street, we have 2 centers here right in town center where people can come and socialize, grab something from one of the local businesses, or just sit out. So I think the center is getting better and better all the time. It's a great place for people to visit.
Town leaders hope that by beautifying this particular piece of real estate, more visitors will enjoy its open space and certain businesses will set up shop here.
Anything that we can do to make Arlington more attractive to businesses is extremely important right now. The businesses feed off of each other, and we need obviously more activity in this area.
The new sidewalks and plaza surfaces make for a more accessible and enjoyable experience for anyone visiting historic Arlington Center. And the meticulous detail in constructing, planning, and installing clearly show that, well, these routes were made for walking. For ACMi News, I'm Jeff Barnes.
During the summer months, the plaza will be hosting several music and dance acts. They certainly have the perfect dance floor for it. Now they do. To find out what's happening at Broadway Plaza in July and August, just go to the town website arlingtonma.gov. Again, that's arlingtonma.gov.
If you motor, walk, or bike down Mass Ave in Arlington Center, you may have noticed some good old American pride in that section of town. While ACMi News was covering the ribbon cutting at Broadway Plaza, we noticed Old Glory banners lining Mass Ave and wondered how they got there. And we got our answer from Executive Director of Arlington's Chamber of Commerce, Beth Locke.
Here in the center, we have recently added flag banners. Over Patriots Day, we collaborated with the town to get flags up and down Mass Ave throughout the 3 business districts. And then for 4th of July, we added additional flag banners here in the center. And I think I've heard fabulous feedback about it. We were able to obtain some funding through the Parking Benefits District, which is the money that comes from the meters here in the center and in the Russell Common parking lot. And that money was used to purchase these flags, which is great for not only the aesthetics and thanking our patriots, but just, for great civic pride.
So if a motorist overparked here in Arlington, they shouldn't feel that bad because by proxy they became patriotic.
Absolutely, that's great. That's a great way to think about it. Absolutely, yeah. They also would have helped to plant the parklet over on Medford Street, all the flowers over there. They can take credit for that, and they can also take credit for the flowers in the pots here in the center too. Those all came from Parking Benefits District.
Not that we're promoting overparking,
No,
of course,
no,
of course.
Please pay your parking. Please put your quarters in because it's going to help us.
Now you know where some of your metered parking money goes, at least. And so if you get ticketed for overparking, just remember, you're beautifying Arlington Center as well. Now, we'd love to tell you that the pandemic is in the rear view, but sadly that is not the case. In fact, we are now contending with COVID in its most contagious form, the BA.5 subvariant. While the Bay State has lifted most COVID-19 restrictions, the virus remains a concerning factor in the Arlington community. In the latest tally, a total of 2,379 residents took the COVID test and 147 tested positive. That's more than a 6% jump in positive cases in recent weeks. Experts say BA.5 may be the most contagious version of COVID to date, and it's just the latest variant to hit us this year, triggering a rise in hospitalizations nationwide.
Arlington's Animal Control Officer Diane Welch is currently on paid leave. This according to Police Chief Julie Flaherty. Several Arlington residents took to social media in recent days to make their opinions known on this matter. To set the record straight, Chief Flaherty confirmed that Welch is indeed on paid administrative leave, and that police can comment no further since this is a personnel matter. The chief told ACMi News that she hopes this matter will come to a resolution soon, and she said this issue will be addressed at a more appropriate time. ACMi News reached out to Diane Welch for comment. So far, we haven't heard back, but we will have an update in this continuing story.
Hard to believe, but we are getting ever so close to election season. Bay State voters have until August 29th to apply for a mail-in ballot ahead of the September 6th primary. Nearly 5 million ballot applications will be sent to voters this week. This, the result of the Supreme Judicial Court's decision to reject GOP lawmakers' request to block Governor Charlie Baker's Votes Act law, which makes vote by mail permanent and expands early in-person voting options. The ruling doesn't dismiss the lawsuit altogether, but allows the Votes Act to remain in effect while the Supreme Court reviews the case. you can expect to get an application in your mailbox in the next few weeks. On Capitol Hill, Friday, July 15th, the U.S. House passed legislation that would protect access to reproductive health care, including the ability to travel across state lines for an abortion, part of an effort to minimize the consequences of the Supreme Court overturning Roe v. Wade last month. Massachusetts State Rep. Dave Rogers stopped by Studio A to give us his take on this recent Supreme Court ruling. He spoke plainly and told me the High Court took a wrecking ball to its own validity as an institution.
The Roe decision had been standing for 50 years, half a century. So it was outrageous. But in the House, we acted very quickly. And we passed, first of all, last session, we codified Roe. So here in Massachusetts, abortion remains legal and safe. But we went a step further just a week and a half ago. And we put in place protections for healthcare providers so that if there are laws passed in other states, as there are, including imposing criminal penalties on healthcare providers, healthcare providers here are shielded from that, and Massachusetts state agencies cannot cooperate with these investigations. In addition, we made it so that insurance companies must cover reproductive health care. And so, including eliminating deductibles and co-pays and everything. So we acted dramatically and quickly in the wake of Roe.
To see more of my interview with Representative Rogers on the Supreme Court decision and other matters, just go to our website, acmi.tv. Again, that's acmi.tv.
Arlington's Department of Planning and Community Development is pleased to announce the recipients of Community Development Block Grant funding for the year, which began on July 1st of this month. 13 applicants were selected to receive a total of more than $1,090,000 in grants. Those funds will go toward affordable housing, public services, and a lot more. Here now are the CDBG grant recipients. The CDBG subcommittee of the Arlington Select Board reviewed all applications and made these funding recommendations, which were then endorsed at annual town meeting in late May.
We don't need to tell you, this week is a scorcher. To use the ancient Roman term, we are clearly in the dog days of summer. So how are some Arlington residents sweating it out in this steamy cauldron of summer stew? ACMi News correspondent Savannah Anderson stormed the sands of the reservoir to find out.
When it always feels like high noon 24/7, there's no better place to cool off than the reservoir. This week, temperatures are reaching highs of nearly 100 degrees, breaking records in many areas of the Bay State. And with the new playground, cleaner water, and a beach blanketed with sand imported from Cape Cod, the newly renovated Arlington Reservoir is tough to beat on a hot, steamy, sweaty summer day.
Oh, I'm going to tell you, this is a real gem. I looked it up on the website to see all the work that went into it before we came today. A, the cost. It's so accessible for everyone. B, the location. And just see, it's so clean. And, you know, it's well protected with guards, changing shifts all the time. I think it's just a carefree place to bring kids.
Swimming in the reservoir! We really like it because there's like a playground and there's a little snack place and it's really fun.
Oh yeah, we love it. The water is clean. Yeah, the kids love the new playground. There's lots of shade.
Figured it would be a good day to check it out since it's so hot, and yeah, it turns out it's even better than I expected.
So, if you're not handling this oppressive heat well, these folks have some sage advice on where to go.
Going to the reservoir! Here.
Say come cool off at the res. Yeah.
Absolutely here. It's right here. It's accessible, and you don't have to travel far to get to like beautiful, beautiful country here. It's just gorgeous.
Yeah, it's just kind of a perfect situation. Definitely gonna be coming back.
For ACMi News, I'm Savannah Anderson.
And 90-degree plus temperatures are forecast for the next number of days. And then we get some relief in the form of temperatures in the high 80s. Thanks a bunch.
We are always proud of our interns who work very hard at ACMi. This summer we have more than a dozen interns who are here to learn the ropes behind the camera and, well, right here in front of the camera.
One of our talented interns chose to be behind the lens. She's right back there now. She opted to do the opposite, however, to say hello. So here's this week's ACMi intern, Annie Chen.
Hi everyone, my name is Annie Chen, and I'm a student at Emerson College majoring in media arts production and minoring in business studies, and I'm from Taipei, Taiwan. All-time favorites of movies and TV shows are Chungking Express by Walker Y, a Japanese food drama TV show called Midnight Diner, and also my childhood favorite, My Neighbor Totoro. The reason I want to intern with ACMi is because their program has a lot of professional and educational resources for TV production. And also I really appreciate their open and welcoming environment for people to come in and learn and improve together. So the first fact is I can move my ear. The second being I don't know how to cook. And the third one is I've never dyed my hair. And the lie is I do not know how to cook. I do know how to cook and I love to cook. And yes, I can move my ears. My favorite part of production is production design. Even though I'm not the most artsy person, but I'm pretty crafty and I really like making set designs, and I really like seeing the set design and the production design come together to make the director's visual come alive. And that's basically it. Thank you.
You'll be meeting more ACMi interns throughout the summer. Meantime, ACMi News has been in touch with several former news interns who've gone to bigger and, if not better, things in the TV news biz. Moses Small, a graduate of Emerson College, was an ACMi News intern in the spring of 2019, and he now works as an anchor and reporter for the NBC affiliate in Bakersfield, California.
And we're elated to hear he owes much of his success to what he learned here at ACMi. Not only that Moses is going to even bigger and better things in beautiful Southern Cal, we'll let him tell you.
At the time you were a upperclassman, I believe, in Emerson.
Junior in Emerson College.
Yeah, so thanks for joining us. I've seen some of your stuff on the air, and you're excellent. You're definitely on your way. So first of all, how's it been going?
It's been kind of you. I mean, I love my job. A lot of that started at ACMi. That was some of my first, on-camera experience. And so for me, I've had the unique opportunity to dive into kind of everything at once. And so you can look at it as a few ways. A lot of stations are losing staff, but then that gives the opportunity for everyone else who is there to step up and be with the team a different way. So I couldn't be happier.
17's Moses Small is in studio now with more on these shootings.
Thank you, Jim. The Bakersfield Police Department and the Sheriff's Office used their firearms to stop 2 suspects last night, and here's what we've learned since then.
You were here in 2019, 3 years later, you're already nominated for an Emmy. You're going to be seeing a lot of success in the future and a lot more hardware without a doubt, with your talents. All right, now you have some special announcement to make. This is incredible. Tell us what's in store for Moses Small in the upcoming months.
Absolutely. So very soon, I've let the cat out of the bag, so to speak. I just signed my paperwork to go to the Script Station in San Diego, the ABC 10, an incredible team down there. And this is a huge transition for me. This is my second job in news, and to land in San Diego is something that I could have only really dreamed of. So I've been in New England my entire life, and I had always kind of had a curiosity about California. And so, eventually graduated from Emerson College, the pandemic messed everything up. And I remember I was home after college and I didn't really know what to do with myself. Everyone's inside the house. I had just graduated. I worked at a gas station for a few months. That was an interesting experience. And then I said, okay. So I applied to like 50 jobs on Google in a day. Eventually came across KGET in Bakersfield.
We're back with your 17 Health Watch. Contract negotiations between Adventist Health Bakersfield and Anthem Blue Cross of California have stalled, potentially leaving thousands of Kern County patients to find a new health care provider. 17's Chris Burton has more.
What do you have to tell interns who are considering possibly a future in television and maybe using ACMi as a vehicle for their internship?
I would tell anyone interested in ACMi that ACMi is a place that will give you hands-on experience in a way that you won't get in a lot of other internships. I've had a lot of great opportunities, a few great internships, but ACMi was the only one where I was an anchor. I was a reporter. I was doing the jobs that I would do after I graduated and after I moved into my next employment.
ACMi News starts right now.
Hello, I'm Carla Dorado.
And I'm Moses Small. Authorities found a frightening situation at Gibbs Middle School this week.
And so I think that it's just unique. I think that if you're thinking about anchoring, producing, reporting, whatever you're looking for, then if you want hands-on experience, you should go to ACMi.
Well, it was a pleasure having you here as an intern. And it's funny when you see a lot of people coming through that door at ACMi, you kind of have an inkling of who has it and other people who may need a little work so we could put them on the positive path to success. But you came in gangbusters and just did a magnificent job for us here. And we're busting our buttons here for you. And the fact that you were nominated for an Emmy and the fact that you are on the road to a new job in San Diego, a major TV market, says a lot about you and your talent. So please stay in touch with us and bon voyage. And I know there's going to be bright skies ahead for Moses Small. There's no doubt about that.
Absolutely. Well, if you guys need anything at all, you know where to find me. My contact information. Feel free to reach out anytime. Absolutely. And if you need an agent, I'll take 15%. All right, 15%. We'll negotiate that rate. All right. We'll do that when we stop recording. Exactly.
Good for Moses. We're also in contact with other former interns who are now delivering their stories daily at affiliates around the nation.
And if you would like to become an intern here at ACMi or know someone who does, I'm your guy. Call me at 781-777-1115 or email me, James Milan, at james@acmi.tv. We don't have to tell you, after learning with us, you'll likely need an agent. Just don't make it Jeff Barn within the next few years. Now that we're deep into the summer season, have you been to the farmer's market yet? If you haven't, you're missing out. The farmer's market is open from 2 to 6:30 p.m. at the Russell Municipal Lot at 29 Mystic Street through the month of October. You'll find all kinds of produce like tomatoes, apples, raspberries, blueberries, and TV. Because there's even us there, ACMi can crank it out with some of its own produce. Folks can stop by our booth and learn how to take part in Arlington's TV station. We will be at the farmer's market all the way through October, so if you're interested in learning and creating in front or behind the camera, producing, directing, writing, public affairs, news, or sports, ACMi has it all. We hope to see you at the farmer's market sometime soon. The Regent Theatre has a hot lineup of movies, concerts, and charity events to round out the tail end of the summer season.
The theater will be closing for a few weeks as it gets an upgrade. Regent co-owner Leland Stein gives us a preview.
Well, a couple weeks from now, the very last weekend of the month, we're bringing back the amazing Acrocats Cat Circus, the 29th and 30th of July.
She's actually been kind of experimenting. She's been going over there and starting to play the piano on her own. She's expressed an interest in becoming one of our keyboard players.
Probably our most popular family show we've ever done, certainly in the past 5-10 years. Every time they come, people come out in droves, and it's a really fun, featuring rescue cats and the world's only Rock Cat's cat band.
You know, you can actually say, when people say, Leland, what's happening at your theater, you can say the animals are coming,
That's right.
and you'd be accurate.
Well, you know, we've done the Yardbirds and the zombies, so why not do the animals? I think Eric Burden's still around. On the live concert portion of things, the last week that we're open before we close in August for renovations is the first weekend of August, first week, and actually a Thursday night, August 4th, there's going to be a great show called the Summer Soul Celebration. So it's going to be kind of an old-fashioned review with a bunch of soul and funk bands and really lively stuff. And in fact, the day kicks off. There's going to be right down the street here, just got approval for some food trucks. So there'll be kind of like a festive thing outside the theater from like 4 to 6, and then concerts starting right at 6 o'clock since it's a weeknight, Thursday the 4th. And then one of our last events right after that, we've got a summer surf event, live surf music, plus the 50th anniversary of one of the best surfing films of all time called 5 Summer Stories. So the Regent's sort of at its best, where we have a live band on stage opening for a film that hasn't been shown, a restored film. That's the Friday night, the 5th. So a little bit of kind of what the Regent does before we temporarily close and then get ready for a big splash in the fall.
You're like the Ed Sullivan of Arlington, but you have a major personality.
May I point out that they'll be on our show, as I told our audience, for the next 2 Sundays. Next Sunday from Deauville Hotel in the Miami Beach show starring Hollywood's exciting Mitzi Gaynor. But ladies and gentlemen...
Well, listen, I'm honored to be named in the same breath as Ed Sullivan, trust me.
As you can see, there are so many events at the Regent Theatre this summer. Just go to the Regent Theatre's website to find out what's happening. regenttheatre.com. Again, that's Regent Theatre, theater with an R-E.com. That'll do it for this week's edition of ACMi News. Thanks for joining us. I'm Animo Osmani.
And I'm James Milan. Have a great week, everyone, and stay as cool as you possibly can. We'll get through this. Remember, Christmas is only 5 months away. Yikes. We'll see you next week.
You can always check out our latest segments and newscasts on the web at acmi.tv/news. And don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter and Instagram at ACMi News. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. You'll find us at youtube.com/ACMi News. If you have any news tips for us or wish to become a citizen journalist, we'd love to hear from you. Email us at news@acmi.tv or stop by ACMI Studio A at 85 Park Avenue.